With the tag Bernie Gets You Paid, people say, wait, I need to be with her because with her, I know I'm going to get some money because that's
right.
the word on the street. Bernie Gets You Paid. I want to know how I get paid in this business. And I said, join the team and I can show you.
The One More Time Music Podcast. Genuine conversations with genuine people about music. Hosted by Henry with a 3 and Playback Ben.
Went from Beamer Coops to Pencils. Don't want this to end, so part that one more time. Part that one more time. Part that shit like one more time. They part that one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of the One More Time podcast. I'm your host, Playback Ben, here with my co-host.
H3, no Hummer.
H3, who do we have in the hot seat today, my friend?
Welcoming in on episode 74 of the One More Time podcast. You know her from The Real Housewives. It's Kenya Moore.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
Oh, I don't think so.
We were
Let's try that again.
We were hoping
Second
you knew
take?
who that was.
One more time.
In all seriousness, we have the bag collector, your favorite entertainment attorney. We got Bernie Gets You Paid.
Bernie.
That's the word on the street.
Yeah.
She's known to work with what? Tay Keith, Lotto, Jetson Maid, Nudie, Savage, Baby Tate.
BRS Cash.
Yes.
Doughboy.
Yes.
The list goes
The
on.
list goes on and
Cheese
on.
Beats. Let's go.
Let's
Yo Dog.
go.
Yeah.
Yo Dog.
Yo Dog. Nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We like Yo Dog.
Yeah, I think you have a song with Surf and Yo
Surf
Dog.
and Yo Dog. Do you know Surf? He recently signed a deal with Jetson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's the recent addition to the Boy Meets Space team with
Space
TP.
Boy.
And
Yes. They have a great crew over there, and it's like every week it seems like there's a new addition.
Yeah. Well, Surf is the
It's
latest.
growing.
He's the hottest.
For now.
He's today's news.
Yes.
So you mentioned in another interview that maybe we should have a work for hire contract for this interview, where so you don't sue us for the footage at some point down the road. Can we get a verbal agreement that you won't make us take this down or?
Sure. I verbally agree.
Okay, thank you.
And that's legally binding.
Yeah.
Yes, it's legally binding.
in the
correct.
state of Georgia. Yes.
Yes, it is. Verbal contracts are legally binding.
Perfect. So Bernie Gets You Paid, and the bag collector, I guess for that matter, branding for you. How important has that been, do you think, to the success of your career and where you've gotten today?
Because it's an amazing brand.
It's
Thank
incredible.
you. I do appreciate that. It's actually a brand that I've been using right before the pandemic. And this year marks my firm's 20th year in existence. So
Congrats.
Thank you so
Big
much.
anniversary.
I do
2
appreciate that.
decades.
Yes, 2 decades.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So the branding has played a part, but not a major part, because I have been around doing deals from the very beginning and had the opportunity to work with legendary acts. So, but as far as branding in business, it's extremely important, because if you don't have a brand, then it's difficult when it comes to marketing yourself. How do people see you? How do they recognize you? How do they remember you? And with the tag Bernie Gets You Paid, people say, wait, I need to be with her because with her, I know I'm going to get some money because that's
right.
the word on the street. Bernie Gets You Paid. I want to know how I get paid in this business.
Amazing.
And I said, join the team and I can show you.
Ooh.
Amazing. So is this a self-proclaimed brand?
No, it's
or
not.
How did you get the name?
Well, it's interesting. I was I had a string of deals that I was doing back to back. It was ridiculous when it came to recording deals and publishing deals. It was just back to back. It seems like every 2 weeks I was closing these big deals. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said, Bernie Gets You Paid. And I started laughing. And he said, you really need to, he said, you need to use that. Start saying Bernie Gets You Paid, and you'll just see the difference. And I said, are you serious? He said, just try it. Just put it out there. And he said, I don't want any credit. Just put it out there. I put it out there, and people started using it. Hashtag, they were retweeting it, reposting it, and just saying it themselves. Bernie Gets You Paid. Bernie Gets You Paid. And I said, okay, time to trademark.
Yes.
Bernie Gets You Paid. So it's trademarked and protected.
Of course, you know how to go about that the correct way, of course.
Yeah, so it wasn't it was self-proclaimed. It's just people were just saying, you need to get with Bernie. Bernie Gets You Paid. And
Street proclaimed.
Yeah, street proclaimed.
Yeah.
Street proclaimed.
That's amazing. So you mentioned this run that you had that kind of led up to your friend jokingly saying that.
Correct.
How did it feel to be on that like winning streak? And I feel like you're still on it at this point. Every time I look, you're posting some new deal that's like, just got this deal closed, whatever.
I have several on the table. I was talking to someone and saying, I get probably a good 12 to 15 a week.
Wow. That sounds like so many. Like,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Is it just you or do you have a team?
No, I do have a team. Obviously, I can't do all that by myself.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have a team.
What do you look for in someone that's joining the, Bernie Gets You Paid organization?
That's a very important question. What do I look for? It's really talent that understands their vision. And I tell them, I say, if you have a vision, I can help you mold it. If you don't have a vision, I really can't do anything for you because I don't know where you're trying to go with this. People say they want to be in the entertainment business. I want to be a rapper. I want to be an artist. I want to be a producer, but they have no idea how or what it is that they plan on doing with it. Okay, there's one thing to want to be something. There's another thing to do it and set goals and steps in place as to how you're going to achieve it. Okay, so if you have that outlined and you have an idea of where you're trying to grow, then I can look at it, review it, and say, okay, well, we need to alter this because the way the music industry is today, that's not going to work. Or, okay, this is going to work, but you need to amend the plans using X, Y, and Z.
Sure.
So I can help in that regard.
Does that go for like both team members and clients, like that same like?
Oh yes, it's the same methodology when it comes to business in general. You got to have a plan.
Yeah.
If you got to have a plan, you have to work the plan. And if you don't work that plan, then things are not going to happen. So if you're just coming into the game with no idea how you're going to move about, then how are you going to move forward? You don't know which direction you're going to go in.
Sure. So, I mentioned some, massive household names that have trusted you with their careers, right? As far as like, at least from like the legal side of the house, right? They have teams, of course, but you're an integral part of some pretty heavy hitters teams.
Well, understand that a lot of my clients came to me in the very beginning when they didn't have anyone.
See, that was going to be my question, was that like, how did you gain the, trust of, obviously we look at them now as massive clients, but so yeah, tell us about actually when they maybe entered your, vortex or your
how do you even
world,
find them kind of thing?
That's an also interesting question. I have a feelers out there. People that I've worked with in the past, they trust me and trust my judgment, and they will recommend me. So my business has been 98% referrals. Mm-hmm. And you have some people who reach out to me via social media, and also during a Google search, they say when they Google entertainment attorneys, my name comes up. And but the majority of my clients came to me through referrals, and mostly people I've worked with in the past. So people like Rico Books have referred clients to me. And
shout out Rico.
Yeah.
Shout out Rico.
Meezy and Key, and just a lot of people have just referred clients to me, and that's how it happened. There was a new artist that they may have found, or a new producer, or even when it came to someone like Tay Keith, I met him through my son. My son was a college student with, attended Howard University with Tay Keith's manager, and Tay Keith's manager, Cambrian, knew that my son's mother, I was an entertainment lawyer. So he said, well, I'm working with this producer, and he has this song that's about to come out called Look Alive, and he needs a lawyer.
Yeah, he does.
And Drake is featured on the track. Yeah. So my son sent me a text message, and he said, I may have a new client for you. And I said, who is it? And he said, all he said was, Drake is on the track.
You're like, I don't care his name, actually, just send him over.
All you need to know is that Aubrey has a verse on the song.
So, yeah. And fortunately for me, I've been working with producers since the very beginning. My brother was one of the original hitmen for Bad Boy, and
Amazing.
And he created a lot of hits. So early on in my career, I had
Shout out those. Can you let's go ahead.
At least drop a few. Come on.
Some of the songs that he did.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, Hypnotized for Biggie.
Okay, you don't even have to keep going.
Stop there.
Everyone just know that was Bernie's brother. That was a part of that record.
I Love Like This Before by Faith Evans.
Come on.
Keep going.
All Night Long by Faith. Money, Power, Respect by the Locks.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot
I love
of
the Locks.
Yeah. So he also did Where I'm From by Jay-Z, which is legendary.
Get out of here.
So I grew a niche practice working with just music producers and songwriters early on in my career. So I had an understanding of what producers needed. And it just, that has always been part of my practice working with producers. So when new producers come in, I know how to I know what they're looking for, what needs we need to address to make sure that they are ready to move forward in the game.
Was that, like, do you think that was like a differentiator for you pretty much? Like, as far as, were there a lot of other attorneys that maybe found that producer niche, or was everyone chasing artists as their clients?
I think people were chasing artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I looked at the story. I was like, man, like, she probably, I don't know if it was intentional or just like happenstance, because, you know, your family ties was on the production side of the house, but I'm looking at it like that was fucking genius. Just like some managers that have like carved out a space to manage producers, that was also a new thing. Everyone wanted to manage the artists.
Yeah, and for a long time, I didn't represent any artists. And it wasn't really until like, I believe around 2015 when Key came to me with 21 Savage.
Yeah.
And said, look, I have this artist for you. Actually, I was working with Man Savage. Are you familiar with Man
Yeah,
Savage?
of course.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Man
Of course,
Savage,
yeah.
And also Big Key, with
Batman Key.
Batman Key, yes, yeah, with the exclamation mark. And because they were like a little clique. And they brought Savage along and said he needs a lawyer.
They're like, we have this Englishman.
So
He does good trap rap.
So, yeah, they said he was amazing. And when he came to my office, we talked and we hit it off immediately because we had some ties. So, yeah.
What, like, to me, having negotiated on the behalf of producers, like, is that mentally like at odds? Like, are those two things at odds? Like going from representing
Conflict of interest?
conflict of interest
Kind
in
of
your
thing?
brain, or is it not really that?
No, it's not like that. I just think the personalities are different. Producers are different than artists, unless you have a producer that's trying to be an artist.
Sure, that's
I
very
just think
common now.
It's just different. Producers are just different in terms of their personalities and their needs. I think artists need more attention. Producers are
Whiny old artists.
They're more self-sufficient and
Freaking babies.
No, you all are saying that. That's not me. You all are saying
Yeah,
that.
of course.
On the record, actually, Woe, who's Rico Brooks's like right hand man and like partner, he manages Mexico Dro and some other producers. Woe is the one that said it on like episode 6 of this podcast that artists are babies. He said it. I'm just quoting him actually.
We've been quoting Whoa this whole time. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. It really is. Producers will just really call more so when they're in the studio. I had a situation early on in my career where a producer called me at 3:00 in the morning. And he was in LA, and he just made a what he called a hit record, and he's like, he was so excited. But generally, you have artists that will call you at 3 a.m. versus the producer.
No, that's facts. So this is what we're deeming Ladies Month on the One More Time podcast.
October is Ladies Month.
October is Ladies Month for us because
Ooh, Ladies Month.
exactly, yeah, because
Yes, it's Ladies Month. What a month.
Yeah, exactly. Because we looked at our guests and we were like, damn, bro, like we haven't shine enough light on the females in this music shit,
For sure.
right? So like as a woman,
Let's just say, don't say females, let's say women.
Women.
What is the
Yeah.
wrong thing about that?
I would like to unpack that first.
I wouldn't be offended being called a male.
Girls,
Well,
a lot
it's
of
Why
more like
is
you
that
say,
a
like
thing?
the species, male, female.
So it's too scientific.
It's like,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. Male, female.
So it's too scientific.
it's like,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm
Interesting.
like, with your double X chromosomes and shit. Like, okay.
Remember like the red flag trend that was going around? Like
If he says
guys that
female-
call them females, it was like a red flag.
Okay.
I was like,
huge.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
man.
no, we want to learn,
No.
understand.
Women, as a woman,
As a woman, yes.
not a female, as a woman in the music industry, like, tell us about, do you feel like that has impacted your experience? Or, you know what I mean? Like, if so, how, right? Like, being a woman in this business, how do you think it's impacted your story?
Well, it's interesting. I always go back to early on in my career because I had to build my career brick by brick. And I recall reading online, because I used to write, I had this blog that I would write, and it was called Ask Bernie, a little column. I don't know if you recall PMP Worldwide, but it was a online publication that was put together by Conrad Demanche, who was one of the A&Rs for Bad Boy. And they had a lot of producers and artists that were part of this PMP Worldwide, where they would connect them with the record labels. And I would write a column basically addressing an issue, like a Dear Abby issue. They would write in about, it was a question related to an issue in the entertainment industry. For example, I loaned this track out to an artist, but now a bigger artist wants to use that track. Is there a way that I can get that track back? Something like that. So
Cool.
I would
so it's like
address,
a forum almost, or
yeah,
like,
but I wouldn't I would not use the person's name that introduced the question.
oh, it's
It
like
was
anonymous Q&A type of thing.
Exactly. So I would write
Cool.
the question and I would answer the issue. It was called Ask Bernie. So that's how Ask Bernie came about.
That's dope.
And so what was I? Oh, I lost my train of thought that quickly.
Being a lady.
Okay, so
A woman.
so basically, people would. I noticed when I Googled my name, people would reference me a lot, and then you would see someone would say, "Oh, well, she seems to be great. She seems to be very knowledgeable, but women are emotional, so I would prefer to have a male or a man represent me on a deal, because I know that if he really needed to get ugly, he would jump on a table and make his point." And that was funny to me. Like, that's ridiculous, because when it comes to negotiating deals, it's not about how, being the loudest person in the room. Because from what I've learned, being the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. It's not about how loud you are. It's about how knowledgeable you are. And knowledge is the truest essence of being, in terms of being able to connect and make a stance. And if you're knowledgeable, you can get your point across. So that has what it's been for me, not being a woman. I don't concentrate on being a woman. It's more about, how do I be the best that I can possibly be? And how do I represent those that are coming behind me? And how do I get my point across? How do I connect with people that I'm addressing? How do I make a difference in the conversations that I'm having? So to me, that's more what it's about in terms of moving forward in this business as a woman. And as any person, like a man, would think, who is trying to get a point across. So it just happens that I am a woman, and it just happens that I'm an African-American woman, and I am a minority in the business. So
Double minority.
Double minority, yes. So has it been easy? No, it has not been easy. I've had situations where I recall people not calling back because they didn't know who I was. So it's like, oh, I'll get to her when I want to get to her, if I want to get back to her. So it's not until you do something that's recognizable and people want to reach out to you, now they're trying to build a relationship with you, and they feel the need to connect, or because of who you're working with, they have to connect with you. And then things start changing because you're now one of them. and you now stand on the same stage as them, they see you a lot different.
Yeah.
Would you say reputation is pretty important in your book?
Reputation is very important in this
Yeah.
business. How people perceive you based on what you've done and your legacy, how you were able to move, touch, and inspire other people. That's extremely important.
So without naming names, unless you can, what are some of the like highest stakes deals that you've been a part of? Like if you can just throw out, I just want people to understand the perspective that we're like, like the level that we're dealing with, right? Like what kind of figures are we talking?
20 million?
$20 million deal. Okay, let's use this as a perfect example, right? Can you name the client?
Of course not.
Damn it.
Come on.
Bernie, we needed a one more time exclusive. No.
What?
Okay, well, I didn't know because some of these deals are public.
I'm a lawyer, okay?
Right.
So it's really we do have confidentiality, ethics rules that we have to abide by. Now, if a client talks about a deal and makes it public, that's different. Now the game has changed because they're the ones that reveal the information.
Yeah, they got Twitter finger,
So
happy.
yeah, exactly. But no, there's just no way in the world.
Oh man. Okay. Well, see,
You're
she's
trying to get
legit.
Bernie debarred?
She's legit,
Right.
guys.
God dang, man.
That was my master plan, Henry. Okay, but let's take that one, right? Like, because for me, I'm listening to that and I'm like, oh shit, like the negotiation process for something like a $20 million deal. I'm thinking like epic law movie, TV show type shit where it's like standoff, like stare off at the, negotiating table. Like, what is it actually like?
Well, it's really more about it's not across the table. It's really
Emails.
Everything's emails, conversations, and it takes a while. It's not something that closes in 2 days or a week or 2 weeks.
What
It's,
takes so long, would you say?
Well, there are a lot of nuances because you want to make sure that the rights that are being negotiated is something that your client is willing to give up, or in terms of the money, everything matches up in terms of the obligations of both parties, the monetary value of the deal, what happens if something goes wrong with the deal, are there any remedies on behalf of your client, the term of the deal, how long is this forever, is there a time where it ends? So there are different things you have to consider when you're negotiating a contract and points of interest and the benefit, how beneficial it is to your client. So it's not just the money. A lot of times people only just look at the money, and it's more than that. And also you got to consider, are there contingencies on the money? So even though you have a dollar value, is everything paid up front or is it paid over a period of time? And is it paid based on certain things happening? Are there conditions on the payments? So
I want 20 million in ones bagged up in however many duffel bags it takes.
Yeah.
So, as far as like the client interaction throughout that, you said it can take months to negotiate like a deal that size, right? Or just
Correct.
really any deal. How's the interaction with your client, right? Like, are you constantly like daily giving them updates, or do you kind of like keep them a little bit to the side until you make some,
Yeah,
like, what's
definitely. No, it's not a day-to-day interaction. It's more so, it becomes more regular in terms of day-to-day when the deal's about to close, when you're finalizing everything and you're going through the last bits of the points to make sure that, everything is understood. And then there's about to be a signature presented.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it's you let the client know what the deal, because everything starts out with a proposal. Because there's a conversation, then there's a proposal, and then you negotiate the proposal, and then you may say, okay, well, no, the proposal isn't what it needs to be, and then you may there might be another month that goes by, then they'll come back with a new proposal. So that's that, and then after that, once you agree to the proposal, then they present the long form. And in the long form, you got to go through all the different nuances of the legalities, of the legalese of the terminology that's used in the agreement, and you want to make sure that's right.
Does your client kind of with their team and like with your guidance, do you guys kind of arrive at like if we can get to this, like slam dunk,
Like a minimum?
but if we have to get to this, we're good. Like, you know what I mean? Do you set kind of like high and low bars or something?
You get like, you do that during the proposal phase. Okay. So that's done during the proposal phase, because before you get to long form, you already know what the bottom line is going to be.
Okay. Like just like the meat and potatoes of it.
Exactly.
Like the kind of like
all
highlights.
Determined during the proproposal phase, yes.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
And then is it true a good deal is when both parties feel like they've been screwed? I feel like that's a good one, right? That's what makes a good deal.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe you said that. What? So basically what you're saying is...
Yeah,
it's a good deal.
Please summarize this shitty logic.
How is that shit?
Basically what he's saying is, okay, there are different styles of negotiating, right? So you may have a style where you avoid conflict, or basically you avoid everything that is going on in the negotiation aspect. So that's someone who talks in circles. Okay. Then you have the style where you agree to everything that's being said. So because you just want to be at the table, you just want the opportunity. So you just agree to whatever is being presented. And then you have the compromise, where both sides are basically giving up things, and they may not want to give it up, but because they're trying to close the deal. So that's more so what he's saying, more like a compromise style. And
it's maybe a little vulgar way of saying it, but
can you repeat it one more time for us, Henry?
A good deal is when both sides feel like they've been screwed.
Yeah,
I think that it makes sense to me. Like,
no,
she doesn't like that, Henry.
Like that.
She doesn't like that.
Not at all. Like you basically want to be in a situation where you believe that your client is getting a good deal, and so you're coming to the table where everyone is here to win. So we're coming with the win attitude, and that's when you feel like you have a good situation, because everyone is winning at something more so. And that's more of like a collaborative style.
It's like a glass half full versus a fucking glass half empty.
It's a negative way of looking at it.
That's
maybe,
a collaborative style
Yeah.
of negotiating versus the compromise style. Okay?
Yeah.
And then you have the competitive style where someone just says, "It's take it or leave it. These are my deal terms." So those are the different styles of negotiating that exist.
The ultimatum.
Like 5 different styles.
And what's your style?
Well, I like the collaborative style because I want to make sure I'm a deal maker. So I want to make sure everybody is happy. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of a situation. Let's collaborate to make a situation happen based on the interest of the parties.
Yeah.
So I like the collaborative style.
How often, once again, without
But
name?
then it
go
may
ahead.
change. It all depends on who's at the table.
Sure.
So who you're addressing. So each deal is going to be different. So it's not like one style of negotiating, but it's important to understand the different styles of negotiating.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you got to be a little bit fluid and flexible depending on like who you're going up
Correct.
against, type of deal.
it's like
Exactly.
you got to
So
know
you
the
gotta
rules
know-
before you break them.
Correct. Yeah.
Henry,
No,
she's not breaking any rules.
okay, I meant it in like a creative sense. Like you can't do that legally. It doesn't apply maybe legally.
Watch your words, Henry.
No, but you have to know who's coming, who's at the table. You
No,
definitely
that's
know
facts.
who's at the table, what type of deal is it, and what you want to know ahead of time what your style is going to be.
Do you know like all the main players now at this point, as
Yeah.
far as like who you're gonna? You go, fucking
Of
this
course,
guy.
yeah.
I gotta.
Well,
Jack
exactly.
again.
Yes, that's exactly.
Is it Jack? Is his name Jack? Oh, fuck you, Jack.
Oh, his last name starts with an A.
Okay, I see what you did.
Okay,
So
Bernie's got bars.
Bernie does have bars. That should be
1-2, a
Bernie,
1-2.
Bernie gets bars. Yeah.
I like
so,
to introduce myself. No.
So how
My name is
often,
Bird.
How often would you say that your clients, once again, without naming names, unless you want to, we're here for all the smoke. How often do your clients not listen to what you maybe, like, because at the end of the day, it's their fucking decision, right? You can't make them
Yes.
sign or make them wait or make them reject. Like, how often do you kind of walk away, once again, just maybe a percentage wise of like this percentage of deals, like I told them, but they fucking did whatever they wanted,
Yeah,
just-
see, for me, it's not about just closing a deal and making money. I got into this business because I wanted to be the advocate of my clients. I wanted to be that person that was getting the best deals possible and getting those that were in bad deals out of their situations to put them in a better situation. That's why I'm doing this. I'm not here just to close a deal to say I closed the deal. So if a deal is a bad deal, I'm going to let you know it's a bad deal. And of course, they're going to ask, well, would you sign it? They put you in and say, would you sign it? And it's like, look, it's not about whether or not I'll sign the deal, because everybody's circumstance is different. So you may need to sign a deal because you need money, or you may need to sign a deal because this is your only opportunity, nothing else, or you may need to just walk away in general. So it's really, I told you why it's not a good deal. And you may be getting a bag, but it's not a good deal. And if you sign it, then this could potentially be what happens. So, that's what I do. I have seen situations where I told the client, look, this is not a good situation, but they felt like they had to sign it because they've been through certain situations in the past, and that might be their only opportunity, or they needed the money, and they just went ahead and signed it. And to be honest, in situations like that, I don't like my name on the paper. So
oh, wow.
Yeah, because I know it's not a good situation. So it's like, I don't want my name on that paper.
So do you actually walk away from it at that point?
Do you have an alias?
Well, and the thing is,
an alias?
No,
Someone
well,
else
it's just like,
signs
look,
it.
well, no, it's just,
she's got a scapegoat on her
It
team.
has all their information on the paper. That's all. Just my name is just not on there.
Okay.
Yeah, it has all their information.
But on the good deals, your name is on there, right?
Of course.
Of course.
That's what I'm talking about.
I believe there's
Hell yeah.
there's a cool story about a bad deal early on in your life that maybe even got you into law. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. So when I was in college with my brother, and while we were in college, he had gotten a record deal.
And remember, guys, this is the hit maker we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Fucking Hypnotized and a bunch of Faith Evans and Puff Records and Jay-Z.
My brother is Ron Alman Ra, for those who want to know.
Shout out Ron.
And he and I, we were extremely close in college, and I saw what it was like being a starving artist firsthand, and just touring and doing the promo shows, not getting any money, and you going from city to city in a little car, and it's just like, wow,
sad times.
Yeah. So eventually, they ended up losing that deal, and I said, wow, I'm going to go to law school. And it was confirmation for me that I need to go to law school and try to get the best deals possible for the client, and just to make sure that I was negotiating the right terms and obligations that would be to the benefit of my client. So
I love that
that's why
story.
I went to law school. And I went
amazing.
to law school only for entertainment. I had no interest in doing any other type of law. I didn't want to do criminal law. I didn't want to do tax law or anything like that. But the funny thing is, when people talk about entertainment encompasses so much. So it's like some people say there's nothing true about entertainment law because you're representing artists who could potentially have a criminal issue or may need to go litigation on a certain situation, or may need to close on a house. But those are other aspects of law, which I don't do. I'm a deal maker. That's what I do. So I work strictly with the record labels and strictly with the publishing companies, strictly with doing licensing deals and sync deals and TV production deals. So I strictly do entertainment work.
What did you want to do before law?
Well, I thought I was going to be an artist.
Oh yeah, no, and do you think that has even if it's subconsciously, do you think that has helped your career as the entertainment lawyer?
Yeah, well, see, in high school I studied music, so I understand music and I understand methodologies and things of that nature. So I believe I have a great ear when it comes to music, and I think that plays into working with successful artists, because when I hear it, it's like, wow, this is going to go somewhere. I'll work with you, because I've represented talent early on in my career and just heard sounds and say, wow, you're a musical genius. we don't, let's not worry about the fee today. You're going to make some money eventually. I'll represent you, get these deals done. I'll help put you in pocket. And that's what happened, because I believed in them and their talent. And I was correct. So it's almost like being an A&R. A lawyer does an A&R. That's what
you got the ear.
Jim.
Seriously.
Stop.
So it's more than
chasing that short-term, fucking short-sighted stuff. Like, if you really believe in stuff, because this music shit, like the money game, it has to be long, or else you're just not gonna like sustain. You know what I mean? And so like that is awesome to hear. I was gonna actually ask you, like, how are you handling the like financial side of things with some of these artists that you maybe took a shot on? And we just had, Diana Schweinbeck, who we were talking about before, who's friends with Red, and she talked about the same stuff of like, even to this day, she might do something off the strength if she like, really believes in it and thinks that it's going to go somewhere, where at the end of the day, we all are business people. We want to make sure that at least our short-term investment is going to be a long-term, ROI. But like, avoiding that like short-term bag that might fuck the deal up because like they just don't have it.
Correct. They don't have it.
They don't have any money.
They don't have any money to pay. So, and that's why lawyers, and we charge different ways. There may be a percentage fee basis where it's a contingency, which is a percentage of what they make. Or there may be a retainer that we get up front.
Or like
what's the most common? What's the most common fee structure?
Is 5%. Yeah, it's 5%.
That's like the standard.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, 5% is standard. There are some jurisdictions where you'll see 7.5% and 10% if you help make that deal happen. So when I say that is, okay, if you were the one who made contact with the record label or the publishing company or the endorsement arrangement, and because you did the legwork to make the deal happen, and that you were that point of contact, and you close the deal, then 10%.
Yeah, it's like a little finder's fee.
It's like we were talking to who were we talking about if
Steve-O.
Yeah, if he gets a beat, and he places the record, maybe he didn't produce it or he didn't do it, wasn't involved in making the song, but he was involved in making the song because he was the key part of, he made this go here.
Yeah, that dot connector fee is at least a 5%.
Yeah.
I
think that's what he said is at 5%.
Literally, he's like, without even thinking about it. And he was even saying he should probably charge more because like he literally made it happen. That would never have gotten done if it wasn't for him picking up the phone and like, placing the beat for some of these people. But
and it's like, does the producer want, 45% instead of 50 or 0?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So once again, in honor of Ladies Month, I'm going to keep saying it's fucking Ladies Month because I'm proud of it. How do you feel about the state of women? And let's talk about hip hop specifically, because I think that's like the genre that we all kind of live in most. I was just at Rory and Maul, the podcasters. They had like a little meet and greet here for BET weekend. And Rory specifically was just ranting about Lotto, saying how like, she's got this like perfect blend of like, pop, sensationalism, but like bars, like this girl can rap her ass off, right? Like, how do you feel? We just mentioned you were at, Tate's release party. How do you feel about the state of like women in hip hop? Like, I feel like the ladies are killing it.
No, it's great. It's great to see because it's been a long time coming. I recall back in the day where you had Little Kim, and then you had Foxy Brown, and you had Queen Latifah, and then all that went away. So now we're at that stage where it's happening again. So I think it's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing because women play a major role in hip hop and need to be seen and need to be heard. We have a story to tell as well. And so why not? Why not give us the platform to do what it is that we need to do? So it's great to see women, young ladies really representing and doing their thing and carrying their weight and making a name for themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like they're crushing. I mean, Doja, Meg, Cardi, Nicki, Lotto, Tate. I mean, like, God bless. Like, it's just like overwhelming.
So, next
like,
in line, Des Dior.
Des Dior, yes. Oh, do you represent Des?
I do.
Okay, wow.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
she's wonderful.
Yeah, I think OG Parker and Romano had a a record or two on the last project, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because I was talking to Steve-O about that.
Yeah, so, and I love working with women.
Me
the
too.
Taylor Girls
Honestly.
also is another one out of Atlanta, actually.
Who is it?
The Taylor Girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beat
so
that.
Yeah.
they had
I
a
don't know.
record back in the day called Steal Our Man, but they've been doing a lot of influencer work, and they've really they have a huge following, but their music is amazing, and they're doing everything independent. But the plan is to bring them back into the fold and make their voices heard as well.
I love that.
So
Yeah, I like working with females too, just from a producer standpoint. I feel like they're more open, maybe, to ideas. They can be more collaborative. Maybe men just have like more of like, I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know if that's the right word, but they have like a way that they see things, and it's harder to like, I just find myself collaborating better with women. So I'm happy they're on the rise.
I'm glad to hear that. I think sometimes men just can be judgmental when it comes to women and don't give women an opportunity. But you mentioned Lotto, she's doing her thing, and in the beginning, people discounted her, and now she has made a name for herself and has proven that she can withstand time and put out continuous hits, and that's really what it's about in this game.
Absolutely. So one thing I thought you said, in another interview, I believe that, stuck with me is that, finding the possible in the impossible, or something to that effect. I'm not sure the exact quote, right? But like the impossible is actually possible, right? I think you said something to that degree. Do you remember saying this?
Well, that sounds, I don't recall, but it sounds like something, because I do say that generally. You have to dream the impossible dream. Because and it's really about you and being present in the things that you want to do, see, and happen. And you have to make the non-believers believers, and that's how it has been for me as well. Just being a woman coming up in a black woman coming up in a male-dominated industry.
Yes.
With my own firm. It was not possible. The only way it would be possible was for me to work in one of the major white shoe law firms. But I had to prove a point to myself that I could do it, and I could get the same clients they can get, and I can negotiate across the same tables that they negotiate against.
So we talk about this a lot on this podcast because I feel like, an overwhelming of people in music, like us included, right, have this entrepreneurial mindset and like just spirit about them. What made you want to take the leap of faith into building your own firm when you could have applied for jobs at some of those existing entertainment firms, right?
I'm a business person. I studied business in college. My undergraduate degree was in marketing. So I did not, I always saw the possibility of me having my own business. And yes, you have a lot of people who think about entrepreneurship, but they really don't know what it takes to be an entrepreneur. It's a lot of time, a lot of hustle, you got to have strong work ethic, and it's not for the faint of heart.
What's the saying? It's like I became an entrepreneur because I didn't want a 9-to-5. Now I work 24/7 kind of thing.
Well, you know what? It's really about loving what you do. Because if you love what you do, then you're never working. So now, if you're in a situation where you feel like you are working 24/7, that's a problem.
Even if you love it?
Well, if you love it, then you don't feel like you're working.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I can be somewhere in Bali and having a conversation. I'm working, but I'm enjoying it. I'm working in terms of I'm talking to you about a deal. And
but I'm sipping the Mai Tai.
Exactly.
So
but
I'm on the fucking beach in Bali,
I don't need
baby.
to be. It's not where it's like I'm laboring and having, like, oh my God, my back is hurting, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a difference in how you look at it. So for me, it was about building a structure that was going to work. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, everything starts with a foundation. You have to think business. You got to think foundation. How am I legally set up? Do I have an LLC? Do I have a corporation? If it's an LLC, is a single member. If it's a single member, are you know how you? What I see a lot is with LLCs in particular. They set up payroll. I mean, you have to understand the tax implications and the legalities of how these companies operate. And if you're just if you're not talking to a lawyer, then that can be problematic for you down the line when it comes to the IRS. So it's really about understanding what's necessary. Do I have in addition to my federal tax ID, my state tax ID number, am I registered with the Department of Labor? And it's just like so much. Do I have the proper insurance for liability and workers' comp? And there's a lot that goes into it.
How many artists?
And a lot of things that I don't see. It's like when you have, because artists and producers, they have to think company. Everything you do is liability that's involved. So you got to have a company structure. And I tell clients, generally you're going to have at least 4 to 5 companies. So you have the company for your entertainment business that you run all your contracts through. Then you have your company for your writing, that's publishing related songs that you write. And then you have your touring company, so when you go out and do performances. Then you have your company for touring. For merch. So when you're selling merch online or at the tours, some people separate that. So you have merch that you're selling on tours, and you have merch that you're selling online. You set up separate companies for that.
What's the purpose?
Because you want to make sure you separate your liability, and unless you get sued, you don't have everything in one company.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the
so
other,
it's a protection.
It's a protection.
Thing.
Yes, exactly. You want to make sure that you're protecting yourself, and even though people set up companies, they have one tax ID. If you have one tax ID, that's just like having one company. You got to separate it. You got to understand what it is that you're doing. So talk to your CPA, talk to a lawyer, make sure you're setting up your business correctly. And then, that's part of the problems that I see. And another, insurance. A lot of people, when you go on tour, things happen on tour. If you don't have proper insurance, that's going to be a problem if you get sued.
Yeah.
Are all these companies, would you put them under like one, like an umbrella, like a corporation?
Well, you can do that. You can. You have your umbrella company, which is just a holding company that no business is conducted through that holding company, and you have the other arms of the business, which are more so like affiliate entities of that.
You better be careful. She's gonna start billing you for these fucking questions.
Yeah, exactly. This is not legal advice that I'm giving. I'm just talking about situations that I've seen.
Shit she Googled.
And how people need to talk to a lawyer, talk to your CPA, make sure those are the 2 most important people that you need as part of your team. You need to have a CPA, and I say a CPA versus a business manager, because business manager, you don't even need a high school diploma to be a business manager. All you need to know is how to count. But the difference between a business manager and a CPA is if something goes wrong and they mess up your money, you can sue that CPA and they can lose their license.
I thought she was going to say one can count better than the other.
No, but no, it's just the liability issue.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas with a business manager, you sue them and they don't have the proper licenses, and you may never.
It's a lot harder of a
you may not be able to get your money back at all.
Mm-hmm. So obviously you weren't sipping Mai Tais on the beach in Bali, like when
I was in Bali though.
But like when you first were starting out, talk to us about like what those early just grind days were like.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I mean?
interesting. When I moved to Atlanta, I had to go. I go to the open mic nights that were at the
Apache.
Well, actually, no, the Peacock. The Peacock that was on Auburn Avenue.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's when they used to have it. Yeah, I don't know if you don't remember that. Y'all were probably too little.
No, but there was like an event there recently, or like at that old,
Peacock, like years ago, they used to have these open mic nights at the Peacock.
I think Kenny Mason's
and it's just oh my goodness, yeah, and just trying to decipher who was who, because in the entertainment business, there's a lot of posturing, and everybody represents themselves as being the player. So just learning to weed through the nonsense and who had decision-making power, as well as the talent, because your talent, when you see them, they're also going to boast, and social media wasn't present, so you couldn't really see what they were actually doing. So they will tell you, "Oh yeah, I sold so many CDs," but everything is based on you selling CDs out of your car. How do you know what they're actually selling?
Yeah, so, there was no way to like check engagement.
Exactly,
they could claim to have however many fucking fans they claim to have.
Yes,
and even still, that's still tough somewhat in like this digital age, but
faking,
yeah, but still it was like probably way harder.
It was definitely harder. So I recall I would travel from Atlanta to New York, and back then you actually would sit with the A&Rs and play music.
Yeah.
So, you have a 30-minute session or sometimes an hour. It was generally 30 minutes. You would play the songs, and they would listen to it, and they'll say, okay, this, we have this artist signed, and this track would go well with this artist. So you'd give them a copy of the CD, and they'll call you back to let you know if they got a placement with that particular artist. So the things have changed a lot since then. You don't really you don't go to the offices and sit with the A&Rs anymore like that. That's not how it happens. Most of the artists are signed to production teams, and you work through the production teams and in the management to determine how you can get a placement.
So what are you doing outside of like, all right, clearly I know when someone's coming to the table with a proposal, yeah, Bernie, come on, we got to, review this, and then you start kicking it into long form, whatever negotiations. Outside of like the stereotypical contract negotiations, what other value like adds are you bringing to the partnership with your clients? You know what I mean? Because I'm assuming you're doing a lot as far as like networking, whatever. I'd like to hear what you think you are bringing to the table outside of just like, all right, here's some legal shit I need you to read.
See, the thing is, because I've done a number of deals and I have an idea of what these deals are supposed to look like based on the talent that's being brought to the table and where they are, and just helping them realistically see what the numbers should look like. Because sometimes they come to the table with these numbers that are outrageous, and it's like, you're not there yet. I understand you believe that you're the biggest thing since sliced bread, but you got to help the label or this publisher see that. And based on the numbers, because that's what they look at, based on the numbers, it's not representing and it's not transferring. So I'm there to help them be more realistic as to the deal that's being presented. So I will ask, okay, what do you have going on? Who are you working on? Who you working with? And what's in your pipeline? So let's take a look at the pipeline, and let's look at the last records that you did or projects that you did, and how did they perform? And then we can possibly go back to the table and renegotiate better proposal terms, so that it would be a better rainmaker day for the clients.
Yeah.
So just helping them realistically see what these deal terms should look like based on what they're coming to the table with.
It sounds like you take like more of a personal, like you kind of get to know your clients.
Yeah, it's definitely more. That's what it is for me. And sometimes you have scenarios where the managers don't allow you to have any connection to the artist.
What?
And it's like that's a problem to me. It's like, wait a minute, who am I representing here? The manager or the artist?
That sounds like an abusive like relationship on the manager and artist's behalf.
Well, I think it's just them not knowing and understanding.
That's weird to me. I didn't know that happened a lot.
This business is all about education, and the more educated you are, the better off the better client you're going to be for me, because you have an understanding of the business. So that helps me do my job a lot better. And when you are asking questions, I welcome it, because no question is, if you don't ask questions, that's where the problem comes in. So I want you to ask questions. So no question is a dumb question. You know, you all questions are good, and I welcome them because I want you to learn. And the better off you are knowing the business that you're in, the better relationship we're going to have.
How much misinformation though is floating around, right?
Oh, tons of it, and it's really frustrating, especially when you have a client who starts doing well. You have other people that comes around and they're starting to be in their ear, and they're asking to see the deal, and then they're looking at points and saying, oh, well, you should have gotten this or you should have gotten that. But you got to understand the state that the artist was in when they got the deal. And
there's no speculation going on as much anymore, right? There's no speculative deals as much, right?
Correct. Yes.
Because to your point, they're looking at the fucking numbers at
Right.
that point in time, that
Correct.
snapshot.
Exactly.
They're not saying they're not like in the old days, like this person's gonna be a star, like
Right.
as much, you know?
Exactly.
It's show me the data.
Yeah.
Show me the data. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really about evaluating what's present, and then once you get in the door and you are able to make some doors, then it's okay. Let's get back to the table and let's look at these terms and let's see how we can move these numbers to the side that's more favorable to the artist.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Henry, we've entered a final segment of the podcast. Where are we at? Buckle up, Bernie.
Bernie, we are at the rapid fire.
And we are going to install a seatbelt buckle in that. So when we say buckle up, people can actually do it.
Can actually buckle up, yes.
Yeah.
This is called the Rapid Fire Rampage. It is the final segment of the podcast. It's a 3-part rampage. I'm going to start out, just ask you some short answer questions. Just give me a quick response. Then we're going to do a this or that. I'm going to give you 2 choices. You pick the one that shouts out to you the most. And then ending with a word association. I'm going to give you 1 word and you just give me 1 word, maybe 2 off the top of your head right back. So if you're buckled up, hypothetically, we will start with the short answer.
Soon to be literally.
Soon to be literally.
Once we've installed the belt buckle.
Bernie, you've decided to start a rap career. What is your artist name? And you can't say Lady B.
Tay Money.
Isn't there that white girl named Tay Money?
It sounds kind of...
There is.
Yeah, I think
I'll show you her later. She's
there's an
hilarious.
artist. There's an artist with that name. So let me give another name.
Okay.
Respect.
Okay. Respect.
What is one of the most common mistakes you see artists and producers making in the industry?
Not reading their contracts.
In the next 15 seconds, invent a sport.
Invent a sport. Water volleyball.
It might not exist.
Yeah.
Let's assume it doesn't exist.
We'll run with it. Yeah, no, I like it. Bernie, you've just opened a restaurant in Atlanta. What do you call it and what do you serve?
Island vibes. Caribbean, because my background, I am Caribbean, originally from Dominica. So Caribbean, all Caribbean delights, from the jerk chicken to curry goat to oxtail, rice and peas. Yeah.
Cocoa
escabeche, cocoa bread, definitely.
Some patties.
Yes. Callaloo patties.
Yes.
Yes.
I would pull up.
Oh,
I would
sounds
pull up for
delicious
sure.
right now.
Bernie, you must marry a fictional character. Who do you choose?
Tarzan.
She's thought about this one. That was quick.
Bernie, how many hearts have you broken?
One.
Respectable. It's respectable. This is more of a philosophical question. Is a thumb a finger?
Yes.
You must get rid of 3 states. Which state's got to go?
Utah. Arizona.
Ooh.
Montana.
I feel like Arizona is maybe the only one we haven't heard before.
I feel like those are all three beautiful places. Bernie's just wiped like
I'm a
the
city
wonders
girl.
of the world and like
Yeah.
She's like, there's not enough buildings in those places.
I'm a city girl. Yeah.
Not enough concrete.
Yes. Where do you see 85-year-old Bernie?
I was thinking about 50 cents in the club. I don't know. Let me stop.
Bottle full of bub?
I got what you need.
85-year-old Bernie, I would say doing nonprofit work.
In the club.
No, it's really about how do I add to society. So I always want to put myself in the position where I feel like I'm being a benefit to others. So nonprofit work is definitely where I would want to be.
Man,
I love that.
I thought you should be chilling at that age.
Well, the thing is, chilling is
A relative word.
well, yes, exactly. Because I when you talk about like not doing absolutely nothing, to me that's like nonprofit. I have to keep myself active.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to keep myself engaged. I want to know what's going on, and I feel like nonprofit work is just the way to do it. And just feeling like you're benefiting society in some form or fashion. So
I love it. Love that.
That's really what it's about for me. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Last one.
And maybe club on the weekends or something at least. Like, I don't know.
Mai Tais. and
I
Bali.
gotta stay fit. So,
There you go.
how do you talk? We're talking about that dance.
Yeah.
Getting sturdy.
Yeah, sturdy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Last one of the short answer, Bernie. What is your favorite curse word?
Bombloclot.
Yes.
Love that. We've never heard that
Perfect.
before.
No,
That's a
but
first.
we've never had a Caribbean
That's true.
person on here.
Great part one.
She's
Part
doing
one.
great.
That was fantastic. Moving on to the this or that portion. I'll give you two choices. You pick your favorite. Atlanta or New York?
New York.
Rappers or singers?
Singers,
Artists or producers?
producers,
Drums or melodies?
melodies,
Drums or flats?
flats,
Yes. My girl. Dogs or babies?
babies,
Fight Club or book club?
Fight Club.
Damn.
Didn't see that
I
one
didn't
coming.
think Bernie was
Love
going
it,
to go
man.
that route.
Yes. A squirrel-sized cow or a cow-sized squirrel?
Yo, her face was
Wow.
priceless.
A squirrel-sized cow. I guess.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
For sure.
Yeah.
The baby
Hell
cow
yeah.
is the
Baby
way.
Who wants to see a massive
Squirrel.
squirrel?
That sounds
Right,
awful.
yeah.
That's the correct answer for sure.
Yeah.
There are no correct answers, but that one
Was
that
correct.
was the correct answer.
Yeah.
Give up driving or give up cheese?
Give up driving.
Yeah,
Honestly,
can't give
that would be Miss Daisy.
Yes. Lose
Perfect.
lose your best friend or lose all your other friends?
Well, my best friend's my sister, so lose all my other friends.
They're gone. Peace out.
Heavy traffic or slow Wi-Fi?
She got so deflated.
They both
'cause
sound so bad.
Yeah, slow. I hate that's just
Yeah.
heavy traffic. At least I can listen to good music.
See?
Great
Love
reasoning.
that.
Get a face tat of R. Kelly or lose 2 toes?
Lose 2 toes.
That was the quickest response.
The fastest one yet.
Oh, man.
Permanently wear a hat that is one size too small or lose 1 year off of your life?
Lose 1 year off my life.
Bro,
Unanimous.
no one cares
No
about
one
life
keeps their
on
life.
the podcast.
I changed that up, trying to get people to keep the life, but it's
No matter what we say, they're
Yeah.
always getting rid of life.
last one is the
weird
this or that.
psychology.
Because that sounds painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that does sound kind of more painful than some of the other ones. Some of the other ones aren't as painful, but just still like annoying, you know?
Yeah, just
But
kinda
people are
slightly.
just giving away life. Like, just
Yeah.
like, fuck it.
Take
Take
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Last one of the this or that. Get verified on all social media or free tacos for life.
Yeah.
I'm not a taco person because I don't.
Oh, this one's
Because it would be. Are we talking about vegan tacos or
any kind of
Any kind of
tacos you want.
Any taco.
Tacos then, because I mean, I'm not verified. That's not. I don't shoot for that, so I'm not really social media.
I don't know. You said you're TikTok and doing the sturdy
well, I mean,
and
it's
shit.
fun,
So
but
like,
what I'm saying is, it's not. I'm not on there just. Oh, I need to be verified.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, you're not
It's not
chasing
a-
that
it's not a goal.
dragon.
I'm there to allow my presence to be heard and provide knowledge and information to those who seek it.
Absolutely.
Part 2.
Beautiful. Part 2.
Fantastic run so far.
The squirrel-sized cows. Adorable.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's all going to boil down to this last section. This is the word association. I'm going to shoot one word at you and just shoot one right back at me off the top of your head. First thing you think. Buckled up? Ready to go? You got your...
Yeah.
Yeah, she's buckled up. Yeah.
Let's do it.
I confirmed it.
Hip hop.
Dance.
Jaguar.
Car.
Money.
Trust.
Cucumber.
Vegetable.
Piano.
Relaxation.
Marijuana.
Relaxation.
Ah, yes.
Amazing.
Bernie gets the blunt.
Bernie gets you high.
Gets you high. It's way better. Oh, Lord.
Family.
One word. Love.
TikTok.
Exposure.
I thought she was going to say sturdy.
30. That's what I was going for. Yeah, I know. That's better though. Sunday.
Fun day.
I'm excited for this next one. Self-representation.
Expression.
Oh, you took it as the... Oh, interesting. Okay. I meant like
You took
legally.
it legally.
Yeah, but I like that better. Get
She's
it.
like, idiot.
Hurricane.
Chaos.
Is the next word chaos?
I swear to
Wow.
God, that's the next word. That's
This has
wild.
happened a few times on the podcast.
Weird.
Weird things like
Interesting.
that, yeah.
Lil.
You said Will?
Lil.
Will? Wayne.
That is the
Yo,
correct
everyone
answer.
has to question Lil. Anytime
Yeah,
you
like,
say
what'd
it,
you
they're
say?
like, what? Little?
Lil. No, like not little.
No, Lil.
Yes.
Wayne.
Lil.
Alien.
Mars.
Album.
LP.
Yes. Podcast.
Information.
Bernie.
Get you paid.
Bernie Gets You Paid. We appreciate you coming on. As always, please like, comment, subscribe if you fucked with this interview. The Bag Collector has been in the building. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it was a pleasure. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me.
Hell yeah. Henry, until next week, what are we doing?
Getting out of here.
Getting out of here. Peace.
Let's go.
Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Hop up in that foreign skirt, no. All the homie, this shit tripping, no. Middle finger to the